start to record. What? Hello everybody, this is ZRV as Austin, and Akamaru is Johnny, and we're going to be talking to you today about a story that
Let's do this.
came to our school, and we're doing a project in our biohealth class about raise awareness about the well, this woman came to our school and presented her story, conviction. One day, she was at the park with her family, and she always had this jogging routine, okay? She had her jogging path that every Sunday, I believe, her and her family went to the beach, and she jogged on her path, and her kids swam with their dad. Well, as she was running down the pathway where she usually runs, she didn't think nothing of it. There was a falling down tree on the jogging path. Well, as she was running, she seen a man. She didn't think nothing about it, you know. She just thought, I guess, that the man was, getting some shade because maybe it was too hot or something. But as she ran past, he started to run after her and chasing her down and trying to get her. Well, she ran and she tried to hide. She didn't really try to hide, but, you know, she tried to go get help. While she was trying to run to go get help, she tripped because she was running out of sand. She tripped, and the guy got her, put a knife to her throat, and tried to force her into sexual acts that she didn't want to do. Well, she said the only things that were running through her head at the moment was getting his DNA under her fingernails and her kids and her husband. How they are going to suffer without a mom. You know, that's pretty painful. What if that happened and you had a family and the guy attacks you and kills you and you'll never see your family again? I mean, that would be devastating. But the only things that were going through her mind at the moment as she was being attacked, the guy kept yelling at her to sexual acts that she did not want to do. Okay? He said that if she doesn't cooperate, that he will kill her. So as she was struggling to get away, she kicked him in the groin, which just enraged him even more. So as she did that, he grabbed her by the hair and started pounding her head into the ground. Okay, which that caused her to kind of pass out, kind of, but no, get dazed and confused, and she couldn't really pay attention at his features of his face or anything. All she remembered was his black leather jacket. So she finally got away. She got away and she ran for help, and she ran towards the beach, and these two young teenagers over there, a couple, which helped her.
UAV online.
As she found her family, she told her family about what happened. So they called the ambulance and the cops, they investigated the scene and everything. and they told her to get back. Well, a couple days later, the police department called her and said that we have a lineup, and we think that we have a person that committed this crime. So she was just running through line right now was that okay, they have the guy that did it. Now it has to be one of them in the lineup. One of them people in that lineup was a man named Stephen Avery. Stephen Avery was a young man that had two born boys, twins, boys, that was only, I believe, 6 days old when he got called up to the lineup. Because in her description, she said that he had a beard, and he was Caucasian, kind of tall,
UAV online.
and which that Stephen Avery fit the picture. So as the police gathered up suspects, Stephen Avery, although he didn't commit the crime, she thought it was him because the cops had him in the lineup. So she thought, oh yeah, that kind of looks like the guy. But she wasn't sure, you know? Because when the attack was happening, everything was running fine so fast, she couldn't get a good picture of his face. So as she said, that was the man that committed the crime. The police department arrested Stephen Avery, and they took him to court. They convicted him of sexual assault and rape, I believe. And that gave him 18 years in prison. That's a very long time, you know? 18 long years. And you had 2 newborn twins. And they're going to grow up without a father. For them 18 long years, they're not even going to know who their father is. And by the time he gets out, they're probably not going to want nothing to do with him. So, after them 18 years, they found out, they ran DNA, they found a hair on her clothes that wasn't found at the time. 18 years later, mind you. 18 years later. Okay? That's a long time. But as they found that hair, they ran it through CODIS. CODIS is a program that has all ex-felons, cons, and prisoners DNA in that system. So in case if they commit another crime, they will, their DNA is already in the system. All they have to do, if they find their DNA at the crime scene, all they have to do is run it through CODIS, and yeah, the DNA will match up to the crook. Well, they found the hair, they ran it through CODIS, and it came out to be, it was not Stephen Avery that committed the crime. Okay? It was another man. A man that liked to stalk women and then rape them. So at the time of Stephen Avery being in prison, his wife divorced him. His kids don't know him, and that's pretty sad. I would not wish that upon no one. So, I mean, she apologized with She apologized with all her heart, and I believed her. She really apologized. She did not mean to convict him, okay? But it wasn't her fault. The guy was banging her head against the ground, which was causing her to lose consciousness, okay? She couldn't really get a good look of his face. So what she did was she made up a sketch that she thought was the guy. It really wasn't. But the guy, Steve Avery, I don't know if he accepted her apology, but by the time he got out of jail, technology was so advanced that he was incapable of finding jobs, anything. You know? So what had happened was he committed another crime. He murdered a photographer for no good reason because his life was miserable. That was the reason. You just spent 18 years in prison for a crime that you didn't do, and the first chance you get of freedom, you're gonna commit a murder. I don't find that amusing at all. Okay. That wasn't right. That woman had everything planned out for her and everything. Okay? And then you're just gonna kill her for no good reason at all? But he did go back to jail. They did find the man that committed the crime at the time. And yeah, I mean, that was a story that she presented to us. Mind you, we're raising awareness for the wrongfully convicted.